Welcome to Ask the Business Doctor. I'm Dr. Sakira Jackson, the CEO Whisperer, and this is where we stop treating business symptoms like random problems and start diagnosing what's really happening underneath. I look at business through what I call the triple helix of wisdom, which is biblical wisdom, business wisdom, and behavioral wisdom. Because most business issues are not just business issues, they reveal something about stewardship, about structure, and about human behavior. Today, we're talking about how do you know if you're a MeshMind CEO? Some people don't think in straight lines. They think in what I call networks. They see connections everywhere with other people, and they can hold multiple ideas, multiple problems, multiple opportunities, people's patterns, and possibilities all at the same time. But that same mind that can see everything, that can be so open and connected, can also become overwhelmed with everything. And that's what I call a mesh mind. A mesh mind is not a scattered person. A mesh mind is a high capacity thinker without enough structure around the way they process how they think. A mesh mind person is someone whose mind naturally connects the threads all at once. Let me explain. You may be thinking about your client's conversation, that business offer, what your family needs, a marketing idea, the money that you need to make, a spiritual question, the event plan, an unfinished project, and an idea that showed up while you were trying to finish the old idea. And then people say something like, just focus more. Bless their little hearts. So cute. But focus is not always the issue. Sometimes the issue is that you have too many open loops and no container to put them in. You may say, maybe I'm a mesh mind. You may say, yes, that sounds like me. I want you to listen to these. I want you to think about it just for a moment and tell me, does this sound like you? You have more ideas than execution bandwidth. You could see the whole room, but struggle to decide what is the next step. Start one project and it connects to three more projects. Your notes are everywhere. You got notes in notebooks, on voice memos, and text messages to yourself. You got sticky notes, you got random files, you got screenshots. Does this sound like you? You can solve complex problems for other people, but sometimes you feel a little tangled on your own. You're often carrying business, family, friends, your thoughts, your money, your faith, your content, your strategy, your emotional labor, all in the same mental space. And people will say to you, all you need to do is just focus. But what's funny is people come to you for clarity, but your own thoughts, sometimes they feel like you need some traffic lights, some stop signs. You know what I'm saying? You got all the traffic with no stoplights. You're not lazy, you're just overloaded. If this sounds familiar, you do not need to be ashamed. You need structure. Mesh mind people are often misdiagnosed as inconsistent, distracted, unfocused, or undisciplined. Now, I want you to know inconsistency can become a problem. Yes, it can. Can distraction become expensive? Absolutely. But we have to diagnose correctly. We have to diagnose correctly. Because sometimes the issue is not that you lack ideas. The issue is that you lack a sorting system. Sometimes the issue is not that you lack discipline. The issue is that everything feels like it's the most important thing because nothing has been categorized. And sometimes the issue is not that you are not capable of finishing. The issue is that your mind keeps reopening all the unfinished loops. A mesh mind does not need more pressure. A mesh mind needs a way to capture, sort, prioritize, and act. I said it, I'll say it again. A mesh mind needs a way to capture, sort, prioritize, and then act. And guess what? Biblically, wisdom is what brings order. So, when you need order as a mesh mind, you aren't looking for help because you're confused. Because God, He's not the author of confusion. And that does not mean every creative person needs to become rigid and boring and beige. Please, no, because I couldn't take it if I were you. But it does mean that what God gives you, you need order so it can become useful. Unsorted wisdom can feel like chaos. I'll say it again. Unsorted wisdom can feel like chaos. When you have a vision, when you have a gift, when you have ideas and discernment and opportunity and stewardship, it requires that you organize what has been placed in your hands. In your hands. In business, capacity needs containers. If every idea lives in your head, then your head becomes the office, the filing cabinet, the boardroom, the prayer closet, the marketing department, the finance department, and the storage unit. No wonder you're tired. Strong businesses do not run on memory. They run on systems, they run on rhythms, they run on decisions, and they run on containers. When you look at it from the behavioral perspective, behaviorally, open loops drain your energy. So every unfinished thought takes up mental space. Every undecided decision stays active in the background, like a program that's running in the background when you turn on your computer. Every I need, every I must remember becomes another open tab in your brain. And some of us, we got about 100 mental tabs open all at one time. That browser of yours is smoking. The goal is not to shut down your brilliance. The goal is to give your brilliance a place to go. That's why we have to have the MeshMind sorting system. The MeshMind sorting system lets you get the thought out of your head before you try to decide what it means. Let me give you an example. You want to capture everything without judging it. You know, you got that voice memo, that notes app, that notebook, that Trello card, that Google Doc, whatever you actually use. The key line you want here is capture first, judge later. Capture first, judge later. Here's how you do it. You want to create categories: business, personal, creative, money, decisions, prayer, discernment. If you create all of these spaces, then you're going to be able to determine that not every thought belongs in the same pile. A money thought is not the same as a creative thought. A prayer thought or concern is not the same as an operations task. A client strategy is not the same as a household reminder. So what you want to do is you want to label them: open, active, close. I'm going to say it again. Label those thoughts as open, active, and closed. Open means it exists, but I'm not working on it just yet. Active means I'm moving forward right now. And closed means that it is complete, it has been released, or it has been postponed, or is no longer yours to carry. So when you're doing this and you got something open and you're looking at it to determine whether it's open, active, or closed, your question is, what is the next visible step? Not the whole plan, just the next step. So here's an example. Let me tell you, what's the next step? Send an email, create the outline, schedule a call, move this to Trello, pray before deciding, ask for the price, decline that opportunity, or record that video. All of those as the active next step. When you're using MeshMind as a CEO and you say, I'm overwhelmed, I have too much going on, then the diagnosis would be, when we look closer, she got 10 open business ideas and 3 unfinished offers and 2 personal decisions and a money concern and some content in 4 different places and a spiritual question that you haven't slowed down long enough to discern. This sound familiar for anybody besides me? What it's saying is, it's not that you're not capable, darling. This issue is about everything floating. So what do we prescribe as a business doctor? We capture everything. We sort it into categories. We label what is open, what is active, what is closed. And then we choose the next action for the open items, only for the open active items, not for anything else. Now, here's the thing. For you, that one shift can take you from a mentally tangled person to strategically clear. I'll give you an example. I've been using this system for a while now, and recently I was cleaning out my sock drawer, and I literally used this system, but I changed it to gray, black, white, colored, throw away, or keep. My sock drawer is full because I like wearing little socks with my tennis shoes. But I was hating the fact that I couldn't find mates. When I tell you that just sorting it very, very quickly into those high piles and then sorting the piles into what I'm going to call open, active, and closed, which was keep, add, or throw away, it really and truly made a task that I probably should have done about 6 months ago take about 10 minutes. And the clutter, which was in my head about every time I went to go get socks and I look at the sock drawer and I was unhappy, completely went away. I know that's a very simplistic example, but I want to show you that this mind clutter, this mesh mind, this tool can be used for something as simple as sorting your socks. So, what is the question that we're going to be asking you as we diagnose what's happening in your business? This is it. Where are your thoughts currently living? When you think about it, where are your thoughts currently living? Are they in the open file? Are they in the active file? Or are they in the closed file? Is it in your head? Is it on your phone? Is it in your notebook? Is it in 10 notebooks? Do you have screenshots? Do you have text message to yourself? Are you using random Canva designs of half-built Trello board? Voice notes you forgot existed? Your mind may be brilliant, yes, it may, but it was never designed to be the only place that your strategy lives. Can I say that again? Your mind, it may be brilliant, but it was never designed to be the only place that your strategy lives. You got to create containers. Containers give you the freedom to be able to come back to all of those multitude of thoughts. So, if this episode helped you recognize yourself as a mesh mind, message me or comment mesh mind. You're not scattered. You're not scattered, but you may be unsorted. And once you are sorted, your wisdom becomes easier to use, easier to access, and easier to manifest. I'm Dr. Sakira Jackson, the CEO Whisperer, and this has been Ask the Business Doctor. Whew.